with the Nintendo Switch 2 stuff going on, it's pretty much taking things over a bit, between all the news and the pre-order business this past week. That said, there has been a huge eShop sale going on too, with lots of awesome games on sale, with many games going for bigger discounts than ever before, and it's all been kinda lost in the sauce a bit. So I figured it'd be best to give this huge sale one more shout out before it goes away early Monday morning. It's definitely worth checking out for those who plan to go with the original Switch for the time being, or for those who want to pick up some of the best Switch 1 games to play on their future Switch 2 system, and all without breaking the bank. Anyway, here you go. Here's the highlights from the huge sale, and I hope everyone has a good rest of their weekend. Konami has a lot of their great games currently for cheap. The Anniversary Collections, for example, are on sale. The Castlevania Anniversary Collection has a ton of 8-bit and 16-bit Castlevania games. The NES games, most of the original Game Boy games, Super Castlevania, Castlevania Bloodlines, and Kid Dracula, as well as it includes the Japanese versions of the games too. The Contra Anniversary Collection includes the arcade games, the NES games, and the 16-bit games in the same package, and just like the prior collection, it includes the Japanese versions of the games too. The Arcade Classics Anniversary Collection really is a shoot-'em-up collection, as it contains 8 arcade games, but 7 of them are shoot-'em-ups. If that doesn't bother you, then what you get is a good set of games here. Stuff like Twinbee, Gradius, Life Force, Vulcan Venture, and more. If you're a fan of classic shoot-'em-ups, then at its current discount, it's a pretty good pickup. For the North American eShops, each collection here is on sale for 80% off. The other regions strangely have it for 60% off. If you don't have access to the North American eShop, then you may want to wait for the next sale. The Castlevania Advanced Collection includes all 3 games that originally came out for the GBA, as well as Dracula X for the Super Nintendo. Really? That set of games is a heck of a deal at 50% off. The games include quality of life features, the ability to select between different regions of the games, a gallery, music player, and encyclopedia, which detail a lot of info on the games. If you like Metrovanias, then consider this a must-get. The Dominus collection contains all 3 Castlevania Nintendo DS games, converted for modern platforms, as well as a revamped version of Haunted Castle, the Castlevania arcade game. Just like the former collection, the 3 Metrovania-style Castlevania games are excellent and worth playing. It's back on sale for 20% off. Rocket Knight Adventures Resparked contains the 3 games in the series: Rocket Knight Adventures, Sparkster, Rocket Knight Adventures 2, and Sparkster. Yeah, I know the titles of the last 2 games might seem a little confusing, but trust me, they are 2 separate games. This collection includes quality of life features for the games, new gameplay modes, a museum gallery to browse through, and a music player where you can listen to the soundtracks. The collection is on sale for 30% off. This collection doesn't go on sale too often. In fact, it's the first sale since its launch sale discount, so I figured it was worth shouting out for those who maybe have had their eye on this collection for a while. A trio of TMNT games are on sale on the eShop. First up, the Castlevania collection from Konami, which has the TMNT arcade games, the NES games, the Game Boy games, and even the 16-bit games, all in one collection, and it's back on sale for 60% off. Each game includes quality of life features, as well as some titles even support online multiplayer, a big plus. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge is a beat-em-up game from Tribute Games and .emu, and it's a gem, and has some excellent gameplay and plenty of callbacks to the classic games, as well as the 80s cartoon series. It's a joy to play, and it can be picked up through its Ultimate Edition on the eShop for 30% off. The bundle itself already allows you to save on the DLC stuffs, but with the eShop sale discount, you'll save even more on top of it. If you're hungry for more TMNT stuffs, then check out the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Splintered Fate, a relatively new, top-downish, beat-em-up roguelike game featuring the Turtles. That seems to be a good game. It apparently takes some inspiration from games like Hades, but unlike most roguelikes, you can be played in multiplayer co-op. The game plus the DLC bundle is currently on sale for its biggest discount yet, 50% off until April 28th. Super Crazy Rhythm Castle has you taking on King Ferdinand and his Rhythm Castle by completing rhythm-based challenges in solo or in co-op play. The challenges differ from event to event, but most require you doing actions to the beat of the music. It might seem simple enough, but the king in the castle will often force you to overcome obstacles in order to do this. Stuff like sorting items, dealing with enemies, removing obstructions, and dealing with switching with your teammates. Stuff like that. I actually found this to be pretty fun, and for 75% off for the first time ever, I think it's definitely worth a look if you like rhythm-based games, or you're just looking for a good multiplayer game with friends. Tales of Graces F Remastered is the remastered version of the PlayStation 3 version, which was an updated version of the Wii game original. Yeah, you got all that? Okay, silliness aside, this is a really good entry in the Tales series, with some pretty good gameplay. The remastered edition here improves upon the visuals, but it also adds a number of quality of life improvements to make this the best version of the game yet. It gets its first discount on the eShop, as well as making it the cheapest I've seen it for the Switch yet. It's 25% off until April 28th. Freedom Wars was a bit of a gem for the PlayStation Vita, that in a lot of ways hits a bit of the same notes that the Monster Hunter games do, especially with the multiplayer co-op that the game has going on. It's a lot of fun. I'm glad it's finally free from the PlayStation Vita prison, the newly remastered version available for consoles like the Switch. This edition includes remastered graphics, of course, but it also adds new difficulty options and an overhauled crafting system. It gets its first discount ever on the eShop, knocking 30% off the MSRP price. Those who like deck building and RPGs, as well as some anime cuteness, should check out a little game called Yohane the Parhelion, Numazu in the Mirage. It's a pretty easy game to get into, it's got some sharp graphics, and it's pretty fun to play. I liked what I played via the demo on the eShop. It's on sale for the cheapest it's been yet, 50% off for the first time ever via the latest eShop sale. Sonic Origins Plus finally gets a deep discount, 60% off for the first time ever, making it the cheapest it's ever been on Switch. This expanded collection, of course, includes the remasters of the first 4 platformers of the Sonic series, Sonic 1, 2, CD, and Sonic 3 and Knuckles, but in addition to that, being the Plus version, it includes 12 Sonic Game Gear games. Of course, it also includes new content and unlockables for the games. It's a good retro collection that has been made pretty cheap via the latest eShop sale. Speaking of Sega classics, I always like to give a shout out when the Sega Ages games go on sale. These should be 70% off in each region. There's a lot of good gems in the series, like Phantasy Star, Outrun, Retro Racing, and the Pure games. And each game comes with a bunch of features and goodies to make these editions some of the best ways to play these classics. The wonderful JRPG Persona games are on sale again, this time for cheaper than they ever been before. Persona 3 Portable is on sale for 50% off, as is Persona 4 Golden. That's a pretty darn good deal for those 2 classic games. Persona 5 Royal gets its biggest discount on the eShop, 65% off the MSRP price. I consider Persona 5 to be one of the best JRPGs on the Switch. It's absolutely worth getting at that discount. Just make sure to set aside some serious time for it. It'll take you at least 100 hours to see the end in that game. Racing game Burnout Paradise Remastered is on sale at the biggest discount it's ever been on the eShop, 84% off, which for most regions means it can be had for under $5. It's a classic 60 FPS chaotic racing, and the remastered edition comes with all the expansion and DLC content that was ever released for it in the past, and has the online multiplayer modes intact. Look, if you love racing games, car games, and have yet to pick this up for the Switch, then don't skip out on this deal. The price it's about as a no-brainer of a deal as one can get. It's baseball season, And a good baseball game to get for the Switch is Super Mega Baseball 4. The arcade-style baseball gameplay is easy to get into, but it also sports a lot of depth for players, as well as expanded online and multiplayer modes. For 90% off, it's worth picking up the Ballpark edition for just a tiny bit more, as you get access to the extra DLC stadiums to hit those dingers in. Doom the 2016 entry is a great one for the Switch. It looks pretty good for the system, and as for the gameplay, it's great, with plenty of shooting and ripping action featuring the Doomslayer. With its lowered price on the eShop and this 75% off discount sale, it's super cheap to get on Switch, $5 basically in the US. Wolfenstein II, the new Colossus, is another impressive looking port for the original Switch. Again, just like Doom 2016, it looks pretty good for the platform, and it performs well. It's a fun shooter too, a really good entry in the Wolfenstein series. This one is on sale for 85% off, another excellent deal. Want more good and cheap first-person shooters? Then let's look to the classics. Doom plus Doom 2 is an updated collection of the first two Doom games, running on the Kex engine. It boasts a ton of features, like improved modern controller support, 60 FPS, and native widescreen support, or the expansion packs, including a brand new one, online cross-platform multiplayer for up to 16 players, an in-game mod browser, and of course support for hundreds of mods, lots of accessibility options, and just loads more. It's packed to the brim with stuff. This is the ultimate way to play the Doom classics on consoles. This collection is on sale for 60% off. The Quake plus Quake 2 Enhanced Bundle contains the first two Quake games, completely enhanced for modern platforms. 60 FPS and native widescreen support, lighting improvements, updated visuals, you name it. Beyond that though, it includes a ton of stuff. Modern control options, all the expansions, including brand new ones, online and local co-op, mod support, gyro motion control support, and even a brand new mode called Horde Mode. Again, just like the Doom games, the Quake Enhanced Bundle here is the best way to enjoy these classic games now. They never looked better, nor have they had this many features. The collection is on sale for 60% off. The S.T.A.L.K.E.R Reaver games have been brought back recently by developers Aspyr through the legacy of Kain, S.T.A.L.K.E.R Reaver 1 and 2 Remastered. Just like the Tomb Raider collections by them, the games have been remastered with a new HD look, with updated visuals and textures, along with the ability to toggle between the HD and classic visuals with the press of a button. Additionally, the collections include new features, like a modern control scheme that you can choose from the classic controls that you can opt for, an in-game map and compass for the games to help you with navigation, as well as the inclusion of cut content from the original games too, including the day and night cycle that was cut from the first game. It's on sale for a bigger discount than last time. The discount is 35% off. The S.T.A.L.K.E.R series is well known for those in the PC game space. These are first-person shooters with survival horror elements that take place in an alternate version with a Chernobyl exclusion zone. Each game tasks players with surviving the horrors of the exclusion zone, the mutations and such, while dealing with several factions that want control of the zone. Recently, the series has been brought to the Switch in new console versions that not only have a new modern HD look, but also have been modified for full support of modern controllers. You can get each game of the Trilogy for 30% off, but you'll save even more if you opt for the bundle. You nearly get a game entirely free this way. At first glance, Bezerk Boy looks like another Mega Man style game, but what sets this apart is the speed. It's a really fast-paced game. You'll still need to attack enemies, platform, take on bosses and all that, but it's all done at a snappier speed and tempo. One of the core mechanics in Bezerk Boy is centered around chaining combos and attacks, all to fill your Berserk meter, and once it's filled, you can activate it to perform special attacks. You can earn upgrades to improve your abilities too, just like you'd expect. It's a good game, and if you like the Mega Man X style games, the Azure Gunboat series, stuff like that, then this is definitely worth a look. It'll be up your alley. I like what this game has, and hopefully it leads to an expanded series. It's on sale for the first time ever at 40% off on the eShop until April 24th. Musical game Trombone Champ combines rhythm-based gameplay with, trombones. Yeah, it's an absolutely silly game, but the game is a lot of fun, and it was a huge indie hit a few years back. Play along to over 45 songs, as you unlock a ton of extra goodies, like extra characters, instrument sounds, and more. In fact, one of the big pluses for the game is the amount of unlockables. For us older players, remember when games had a lot of those? Also, there's a multiplayer mode. You can jam with up to 4 players, though I'd imagine it would quickly devolve into lots of laughter and chaos. For those who like rhythm games, I consider this one an easy recommend. It's 50% off for the first time ever on the eShop until April 28th. Dave the Diver recently had a new DLC expansion come out, the Ichiban's Holiday Content Pack, and to celebrate, the publishers of the game have put the game on sale for a bigger discount than ever before. It's 35% off now. This adventure /RPG /roguelite /management hybrid game has a little bit of everything, as you can tell. You play as Dave as you explore the depths of the Blue Hole, adventuring in order to obtain fish for your sushi restaurant at night. So you explore underwater, finding treasures and fish while avoiding or dealing with dangers, and at night you serve sushi and manage the restaurant, all while advancing a story that links everything together. The demo will give you a decent taste on the flow of things, so try that first. But I found this to be fun for what it is. It's a good casual game with an eclectic but good gameplay loop. For those who do pick this up from the eShop, do make sure to pick up the Dredge Content DLC Pack. That is free on the eShop. Gimmick, otherwise known as Mr. Gimmick, was a wonderful 8-bit game from Sunsoft for the NES and the Famicom, featuring colorful graphics, a memorable soundtrack, and unique physics-based platforming mechanics. It was totally a gem for the system. Also, it is a freaking hard game. Thankfully, the Special Edition for Switch allows players to get more chances to beat the game through its quality of life features, like save states and rewind. If you want to show off that you can beat it without those, well then there's plenty of leaderboards the game offers where you can do so you can see how you can match up against other players. If you like 8-bit games, the NES era, then consider this a must-get at 60% off for the first time ever. Last year, Gimmick actually received a modern sequel, believe it or not, with Gimmick 2. It's a new adventure using the familiar physics-based gameplay mechanics from the first game. It's a pretty good game too. The gameplay from the first game really holds up with the new challenges. Of course, just like the first game too, this one will test your skills. But don't worry though, if you're a bit intimidated. There is a friendly assist mode that can help players who might need a boost. If you consider yourself a 2D platformer fan, then give this a go. Its physics-based gameplay is great and unique, and if you love the first game, then consider this a must-get as well. It's on sale for 50% off, the biggest discount it's had yet on the eShop. Roguelike shoot-'em-up Vampire Survivors is an addiction waiting to happen. At first glance, it might seem like an overly simple game, but once you get to play it, you'll become addicted to the gameplay. Each run consists of the player using their auto attacks while exploring and leveling up, and then picking upgrades to get stronger, which you'll need because the enemies will get more intense and more vicious as time ticks on. Throughout each playfield, there's additional upgrades you can obtain in addition to your level up chances, but hidden deeper within are loads of secrets to find, with many cleverly hidden. The game itself is already pretty cheap, but the eShop sale makes it even cheaper by discounting it to 25% off. If you want to pick up any of the DLC, and trust me, you will, it's all on sale too currently, and it's very cheap to get, including that Castlevania DLC. The excellent bundle of Enter the Gungeon and Exit the Gungeon is back on sale again at 80% off. Enter the Gungeon is a terrific roguelike game with bullet hell elements. It's a blast to play, and lots of fun. And the sequel, while different, it's more of a platformer instead of a shooter, it's still a pretty good game too. Getting both in this bundle is a great deal. It's one of the best values via the eShop sale. Dawn of the Monsters is a really good beat-em-up game for the Switch, one that revolves around kaijus. Yeah, that's always a plus here. Players take control of the kaiju of their choice, and then proceed to beat the snot out of the enemies that are trying to evade Earth. As you advance, you'll be able to power up the kaijus to make them stronger. It's a good game in solo, fun as heck in local co-op. The game plus the DLC bundle is what I recommend to get if you aim to get it on the Switch, as it gets you the additional arcade mode, plus another kaiju to fight as. And it's pretty cheap right now. Actually, it's the cheapest it's ever been yet on the eShop, with a discount of 60% off for the first time ever. Double Dragon Neon is a good beat 'em up by WayForward, where they took the Double Dragon series and gameplay in a new direction, one filled with lots of 80s charm, neon, and silliness. It works well though. The gameplay is pretty good too. I like that there's a way to upgrade your stats through replaying and obtaining things like mixtapes, as well as the inclusion of special moves and the tag team high five mechanic. It's a good beat 'em up game to pick up for the Switch if you like the genre. It's on sale for 47% off, which makes it the cheapest it's ever been on Switch yet. If you're craving some monster collecting fun, or just waiting on the next Pokemon game, then consider picking up the Nexomon games. They are solid Pokemon-like games, and the collection, the Nexomon plus Nexomon Extinction Complete Collection, is pretty dirt cheap to get, at 75% off. If you like those monster collecting games, then you really can't go wrong with this. So Cresta is a vertical shoot 'em up from Platinum Games that is the latest entry in the arcade Cresta series. The game's main gimmick is the dock system, where the starships and the player controls can change formations, and thus change how they attack. The Complete Set edition thankfully comes with all the DLC and bundles, which add extra modes and ships to play as, and it's currently on sale for 50% off. Between the new updated pricing and this big discount, this is a huge savings versus what the Complete Edition used to cost, which is like $50 or so in the US. Crow Country is an old school style survival horror game that does well with its creepy vibes and narrative echoing those horror classics from yesteryear. This one has you exploring an abandoned theme park, or trying to survive, and of course, solving puzzles along the way. It's been pretty well received by horror fans. It's currently on sale for its biggest discount yet, 30% off. Tromented Souls is another horror game inspired by horror classics, mainly the Resident Evil and Silent Hill games. This is a creepy as heck horror game that's very well done in my view. Just like the previous game, you're going to need to survive while solving puzzles, and there's a huge emphasis on item management too. If you miss the old days of horror games, then check out Tormented Souls. It's a great way to relive those days. It's on sale for its lowest price yet, 85% off, which is a freaking steal. Finally, there's White Day, a labyrinth named Skull, a modern remake of the classic Korean survival horror game. It has you exploring a school at night that is seemingly haunted or cursed. It's a pretty good Asian horror game, another one with plenty of spooks and scares. It's on sale for 75% off, its biggest discount ever.